VMworld 2010. I'm walking around the expo hall floor, and I've walked into the booth of Kaviza, who is actually the winner, the gold winner for the best product in our in the desktop virtualization category. So I want to find out, I guess, what Kaviza is. So I pulled aside Kumar, a friend of the program. You've been on before and done videos for us. So good to see you again, Kumar.
Thank you, Gabe. Oh, Brian.
Yikes. So Kumar, give us a quick, so for those who don't know Kaviza, what's a quick 30-second, give us your elevator pitch.
Hey, we've been focused on making VDI easy, affordable, and yet providing, high definition, good user experience. That's what Kaviza is all about.
And I think when we were looking at the products and evaluating who's going to win the best in this category, it's set up to out of the box, full running VDI environment in an hour. Everything, brokers, desktops, everything.
Yeah, exactly. And the way we do that is all of our technology is in a simple virtual appliance. So you have a hypervisor, you basically download it, power it on, it's good to go. And the other aspect is, the reason we can do that and make it so simple is because we eliminate the whole need for shared storage. And so now you don't need shared storage, and it's, again, very, very simple kind of an infrastructure. Yet you get high availability, on-demand scalability, and of course, really good user experience because of Citrix HDX.
And okay, so there's a lot of stuff you said in there. What hypervisors? ESX?
We run on ESX, ESXi, Zen Server.
Okay, so I buy my server, I install ESX with a free ESXi, download your virtual appliance, click next, and I'm up and running. The beauty, though, is when I take and add server number 2, right?
Yep. We always say the UPS delivery guy should be able to add server number 2. You bring it in, point it at the first one, answer just 2 questions, and boom, they start talking to each other. You can go out and get a copy.
Which is what? Where's the first server and what's my password, right?
Yeah, and hey, do you have authentication to do this? And then go, hey, where's the Active Directory? What images do you have? Who's got what image? It gets all that information.
And so they talk to each other. So you don't have to build separate connection brokers and managers and storage. And you define all your VMs in your system. Now you've got a cluster, a grid of 2 servers. And I add server 3, 4, 5.
And they beginning to share that information out, and now you've got a complete, and then they do all the health checks. So if you kick one of them or pull out the power, the other guys will take over and make all the adjustments.
And so they figure out which disk images have to be on which servers.
Yes.
They all act as web interfaces, so I can land on any of them, authenticate, and be running my desktop.
Yeah, when you land on any one of them, it'll show you as that there's one logical server. There might be 20 servers behind it, looks like there's one. There might be 10 copies of this one image, but it looks like there's one. You patch it, you manage it, and it will distribute everything and make sure all the users get the latest patch based on policies you set.
So I wrote an article a few weeks ago called Fuck the SAN.
Yes.
I'm guessing that was in line with your...
Very much in line, and I loved all the responses. And one key thing, is that, of course, if you take the typical VDI software stack, it's designed to work with shared storage. Not just designed, it requires shared storage. So if you just take this typical stack, stick it on a bunch of DAS, it's not going to give you high availability. It's not going to give you scalability. So what we did, and that's one of the things I wanted to actually be able to express, is the fact is that we took the VDI stack and redesigned it from the ground up to work with this direct attached storage. And so now you get a different stack, but because of that, without shared storage, you get all the neat stuff, the core stuff every VDI software should have. Again, high availability, scalability, and so forth.
And this is kind of like the initial promise of like grid-type computing. So you've got lots of cheap, sort of independent devices. So when you add more servers to your environment, they're all replicating, and so you still get the availability. Your disk image is replicated around and everything.
Yes. And you also get the flexibility where if you're like WAN handicapped, you could be actually putting pieces of our grid in your branch offices and yet managing it as though there was one server.
Now, you also mentioned HDX.
Yes.
I know that you worked with Citrix, and now you can connect users via RDP or HDX, right?
Yes, out of the box you can run RDP, RDP7, or Citrix HDX, which we love,
And do you get everything with HDX, the media stream and the client devices and Mac ports?
They've given us the entire stack, and they've been fantastic in working with us. So in addition to Citrix, we have the other guys who can sell Citrix HDX.
And there's 2 price points, right? There's
there's a price point 125 per concurrent user for RDP and RDP7, and an uptick to 160 list price for HDX.
And really, since you can run on ESXi, that's kind of the only cost you have. I mean, I guess you have your SA or whatever you do to Microsoft, but I have a blank ESI box, or ESXi.
Yeah.
125 per user, and that's all I need.
Well, except one thing is that with ESXi, you do have to put in at least an essential license because they've closed the API. Okay, but otherwise,
to prevent people from you doing
yeah,
things
exactly.
like
Technically, but with Zen Server, for example, it's completely free.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But another point I wanted to make is that because of our tight integration with Citrix, you don't even have to have a Kaviza client. You can get a old Wise, HP, whatever client that has a Citrix receiver on it that was developed before we were born, and it'll work with Kaviza. If you buy an iPad,
so you're passing the same ICA. So they go when they're given a desktop, they're clicking the link, it's sending an ICA file down to them, authenticating them through.
If you buy an iPad from the Apple Store and pull down the Citrix receiver and point at a Kaviza server, you got a desktop.
That is actually really cool and something I didn't know. So let me ask you a final thing. There's a couple of screens you have here. Is there? I guess there's really nothing for us. This is just showing.
Well, that right here is showing sort of the simple administrative console, designed typically to be very, very simple. That's what we've been focused on, and this is through which you manage everything. And if you notice, if you look at it, here's all the different types of desktops. Here's the capacity of the entire grid, but it doesn't show you all the servers and everything. You have to dig in to find all that.
Because you don't care.
You don't care. You shouldn't have to care. And that's what we want to make it easy for the desktop IT guy. And over here, we're showing you a Kaviza desktop running HDX, and you can see the kind of...
And this is nothing special because it's regular HDX, which is kind of the whole point.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome.
Exactly.
All right, well, with that, hey, congrats on making a great product and winning the Gold Award for Desktop Virtualization category.
All right.
And it's the version 3 that you mentioned also. This is available now, right?
It's available on the website for download for you to try and, of course, to purchase.
Great. Well, thanks a lot for your time today.
Great. Thank you very much.